started, or when I really entered the area of the film, or whatever the case may be, I wanted to go over another update about Johnathan Majors outside the update that you already gave you, maybe 2-3 hours ago, when it was now at the behest of the New York City Police Department. We now find out that the woman that accused Johnathan Majors is in fact a nut. Not only is she a nut, she was brought in on the 5150. She recanted her accusations against Johnathan Majors. If you guys don't know him, he's better known as Kane the Conqueror from the latest Ant-Man and the Wasp Mania. So I wanted to add something on, and this might just be a theory base here, but I just wanted to expound on this and unpack this a little bit more for you all when you come to see this on the rebroadcast, whatever you see. I usually don't go live this early, but hey, I wanted to talk about this before everybody else spells their theories, etc., etc. So I think what the problem is, now that we know her identity and we've now seen her, I didn't know what she looked like initially. I knew she was white, but I didn't know what she looked like. And so this girl, I guess she's from either England or she's either from Germany, something like that. I don't know. And anyway, long story short, a lot of people have been attacking her looks, which I can understand. A guy like Johnathan Majors, you would think he would have a better looking broad, right? But hey, sometimes it's just the personality. You never know. But I would say the same thing. I would think he would have a better looking broad. But BS of himself, he can date whoever he wants to, and that's who he found attractive. That's who he found attractive. Still remains one thing that's clear. I think, in my personal opinion, there was definitely some type of colorism going on within the quote-unquote culture here. And I'm going to tell you about that, and I'm going to expound on that really quickly before I go over here and record what I was supposed to be recording today, which is this. I was very upset that a lot of women were attacking Johnathan Majors when they found out the race and nationality of this woman. And they seem to pick and nitpick on it even more on your favorite app or whatever the case may be. And one of them that kind of surprised me was that I saw and I came across was one of them that said, and it was from a very prominent figure. You know what? Forget it. It was from Boyce Watkins. And Boyce Watkins goes, since now the story has been recanted and everything like that. This is why I'm like 75-25 with Boyce Watkins, because I agree with a lot of the diatribe that he has, but at the same time, sometimes Boyce Watkins can be quite the person to be contentious to deal with. And so I saw post after post after post after post of them attacking this woman's race based on that. Would it have been any better if he was with a black woman or a Latin woman or another minority woman? Would it have been better if the same accusations would have been put forth falsely? And I agree, and I'll say no. I'll say no, it wouldn't have been any better. So the fact that you can't win one battle, so you, I guess, succumb and sequester going to another battle, which is now a race, that's just the bottom of the barrel for me, I don't think at any time in the conversation the woman's race should have been upheld. It should have been more about facts, false accusations. And now finding out there's false accusations against, I'm going to still call it Kane the Conqueror, Johnathan Majors, and his future in the MCU. I don't like it. And I think it's a hypocritical move when you have, I'm not only women of color, I'm not going to say women of color, but I'm just going to say even white people, because that's what some white people were supposed to. Making fun of her, talking about how she looked. They give me 1 second, guys. I ain't gonna beat this fire truck behind me. Not only did they make fun of her skull of her skin, but they made fun of her looks and things like that or whatever. The regular diatribe. But I say to this to you, ladies. Ladies, you have become very vicious lately online, especially here on YouTube. I've seen a lot of ladies go to bat, attack other women, etc., 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 and it kind of counters your whole movement about women's equality and everything like that, because now you have women actually attacking other women online. You know what I mean? There's other women that are not even coming to the defense of certain other women when the story and the subject is pointed. You understand what I'm saying here? So, ladies, if you're going to stick to the sisterhood all the fucking time. And this is one of those times you stick to the sisterhood. If you agreed with this woman initially, you agreed with the fact that whatever happened with Johnathan Majors happened, which we're now finding out didn't happen. If you don't know what I'm talking about, just go to my earlier report. I'll give you a quick synopsis real quick. Johnathan Majors from the MCU, better known as Kane the Conqueror, who was about to kick ass in about 10 movies. They found out today that, well, actually yesterday, I reported it last night, that all the accusations against him were fucking false. And the only reason that they arrested him was because it was procedural. Meaning that this woman, who they say she has emotional outbursts, I want to underline that, she has emotional outbursts. This woman that has emotional outbursts from England decided, hey, I'm going to have an emotional outburst today. I'm going to say Johnathan Majors did this to me, put his career at risk, or whatever the case may be, and at the end, nothing will happen to you. Well, the joke's on you, shorty, because not only did they hold you on the 5150, 9 times out of 10, these charges will be dropped, just like his lawyer said. So let's give a shout out, first of all, to his lawyer. I like her, and I think her name is Priya. I think that's how you pronounce her name, Priya Shakdri, or Shakdra. So I want to give a shout out to Johnathan Majors' lawyer. I'm right here in New York City where Johnathan Majors is stationed, and I can't tell you how glad I was, and including where this particular situation that didn't happen supposedly happened. It's unfortunate. But what's more unfortunate, like I said, is, and I want to go back to the premise of the conversation here, is that people are relegating the charges and everything else towards color. You know, and like I said, you can't get nowhere with this. You know, okay. So at first you were siding with the woman because you thought she was telling the truth, and when we find out she's been not only in a situation where she's retracting the statements that she made and the accusations that she said, not only that, she's brought in for a 5150. Not only that, she has a long-standing history with having, quote-unquote, typecast here, emotional outbursts. You know, everybody's got a mental problem nowadays. That's the way of the world, don't you know? Everybody's got a mental problem, you know? What have we been doing in all these wars? Genghis Khan, World War II, World War I. I guess we could base all that on mental outbursts too, you know? But evidently, this woman had an episodic emotional outbursts, and that led her to making these false accusations about Johnathan Majors, which now they have videotape of to show, and witnesses to show that these allegations were false against Johnathan Majors. I'm more concerned that it put his career at risk, you know? We have Black Panther, and God rest his soul, Chadwick Boseman. He passed away, as we all know. And I think this is the next prominent role. You know, traditionally in the comic, Kane the Conqueror has been a white man. And so this was a chance for Johnathan Majors, and I really think he redefined the character. And to put his career at risk like this with a lie because you had an emotional outburst. That's how they typecast it. And this is coming from a statement from his lawyer, Priya Chandri. I hope I'm pronouncing your name right. Located right here in New York City. So it's sad, man. It's sad. I don't know what else to say about it, but I will say this to the hypocrites. Stop using this woman's race as a reason to, because you lost the argument, now try to somehow second-handedly and underhandedly now win the argument. It doesn't work that way in life. And I'm really ashamed of a lot of people that jumped the gun. They said Johnathan Majors was guilty. This woman was lying. And I'm going to stick by my guns, and I'll say again, do not believe all women. All right? Do not believe all women. I think there was a template and there was a time when you could believe all women, but when you sit back and you see, what happens is the women that really have cases of sexual assault and things like that, they get ignored the more and more women like this do shit like this. You understand what I'm saying? That makes any sense. So real women that have had sexual assault cases, you know, walking around with years of trauma and shit like that, they get ignored because you got chicks like Amber Heard, you got chicks like Meg Thee Stallion, you got chicks like this chick right here that accuse innocent men of doing things that they didn't do, you know, and I feel strongly and I'm adamant about that. And I want to say to you again, and I want to celebrate it, Johnathan Majors is not guilty. They now have video footage from the Uber. They now have video footage from the club. They now have testimony and a retractment of the statement and accusations from her. And also, more prominent than anything, we have a long-standing history of her having, quote, emotional outbursts. These emotional outbursts led to her making these false accusations against Johnathan Majors, aka Kane the Conqueror. I'm not happy about this. That means that any broad could walk into anywhere and say, hey, you know what? I went on a bad date last night and this guy touched me. Falsely. Ladies, I'm going to encourage you and I'm going to ask more of y'all, when y'all start seeing stories like this and these women, these particular women, they put false allegations on men, or they say things out of turn, or whatever the case may be. It is your job and your duty as good women to bash these women justifiably. And I'm going to tell you why. Because for every one of these women that comes up with false accusations, what happens is all you ladies that have real accusations, y'all get blindsided and forgotten about because of these couple of women that want to get a turn on social media, wanted their 15 minutes or 15 seconds. This chick right here, her story lasted 12 fucking hours when we dissected it and unpacked it. She's lying. She's lying. You know? And there's no shred of evidence to say that she isn't lying. There isn't anything there to say, hey, well, there's a shred of doubt or anything like this. This woman is adamantly lying. So there's two premises here. One, she's lying. Two, why are, now that you've lost the argument, you're now retreating and going with the angle of what color she is? It has nothing to do with her race. And I just think that's just fucking weak as hell. Oh, she's white, so definitely that's why. But aren't you the same people that are online right here on YouTube almost every freaking day talking about mental health, mental health, mental health, mental health? What? This is my thing. Any motherfucker that's heavily advocating mental health and all that shit or whatever, I want you to do three things. One, look at their family history currently and past. All right? See who's in their family and do your pick of the litter and be like, well, you know what? You're talking about all this mental health shit. How about Uncle Johnny that's been stark core crazy for the past 20 years sitting in the fucking room humming to himself? How about that guy? You know, they'll forget that guy, but they want to advocate to you about mental health. You got to watch these people, man. You know, and this is some of the same people that did posts yesterday. You need to take your post down and make them private. Uh-oh, it's over for Johnathan Majors now. Uh-oh, he didn't got his Negro wake-up call. I can't stand that term, Negro wake-up call. I know, listen, I live in Connecticut. I know white men that have got their white men wake-up call. You know what a white man wake-up call is? A white man wake-up call is when you think you want to see, I worked in the music business for 17 years. I've been around multi-millionaires. I worked for them, toured with them, went to every club you could think of in the country with them, all right? These are real multi-millionaires, guys that have the Brinks truck pull up at a strip club with the King of Diamonds down there in Miami, all right? Make no mistake about it. I'm talking about real money, multi-digit, multi-millions. The difference is, and I'm gonna put this in parentheses. The difference is, this woman doesn't have the same amount of money or the same amount of opportunities as Johnathan Majors, which makes it even worse. Because not only are you lying, and it's now been found out that you're lying, there's camera footage to show that you're lying, but you put this man's career at risk. I think Johnathan Majors up to the Kang Dynasty, there's going to be about 8 or 9 movie appearances by him. And he's going to play different variants of Kang the Conqueror, or whatever the case may be. And this one woman put that on jeopardy. And here's another one. And there's been black ones, white ones, corporate ones, or whatever. But like I said, once again, I believe this moment moving on is the duty of many women out here that say they have been sexually abused or whatever, and they make false accusations like this woman did against Johnathan Majors, which has now been proven. I think that every last one of you women, it is your solemn duty, if you know somebody that's really been sexually assaulted, if you know someone that's really been through some type of trauma that's been lasting with them for year after year after year because something their uncle did or dad did or whatever, right? It is your solemn duty to jump on the back of these fucking narcissistic bitches. That's what my sister would call them too. These narcissistic, nasty, lying, fucking conniving bitches that just want 15 seconds of fame. Her fame lasted less than 12 hours before we found out that this woman was not only lying on Johnathan Majors, but now that there's video footage of her and the whole ordeal going down, and it's totally counter of what she said. Not only is it counter of what she said, she went to the police station and made a retraction of the statement. Not only that, she has a long-standing history of mental illness. Not only that, to put the ice on the fucking cake, they took her in for a 5150. This is the woman that accused Kang the fucking Conqueror of choking her. Do you know how big this motherfucker is? Johnathan Majors is like, I'm 6'2". Johnathan Majors is about 6'3". He's got a workout regimen. He said he was intaking about 685 calories a day to maintain his shape. All right? This Kang the Conqueror role is no joke. So if this guy, as big as he is, would have picked up this little bitty ass girl, it would have been way more damage than that. Trust me on that. That's why I said it's a solemn duty of you ladies, if you know somebody that really went through some type of sexual, abuse or whatever the case may be, wherever in their history, currently or past, it is your duty to bash chicks like this chick that accused Johnathan Majors of this bullshit. And now we have evidence to show and suppress that she's lying. And nobody's mad about that. Nobody's upset about that. But you're upset at the way this woman looks. You're upset at the way this woman looks. Let me tell you something. If you go off the way a woman looks or whatever, some of the worst sex I've ever had in my life has been from some hot ass chicks. Hey, I'm late. I gotta catch the beginning. So this bitch lied, shaking my head. She needs to be jailed. Yes, she lied. She lied. 305 Capricorn. The New York City Police Department and Priya Chopra. I think I'm saying her name right, but I know her first name is Priya. That's Johnathan Major's lawyer. She not only made a statement to the press this morning, but she also elaborated a lot for us. This woman has mental problems, a history of mental problems that are long-standing. She's known for having emotional outbursts, making up things, lying in her country, in her home country in England. And they knew about it after they did this a brief extraction of her history. Not only did they find that out, that she had a long-standing emotional outburst history or whatever the case may be. And I'm telling you guys, listen to me very carefully. Watch the chicks that you date and watch their behavior. If they start bugging out and throwing dishes or cursing you out real erratically or quickly or whatever, you better off being by your goddamn self. I live by myself. You understand what I'm saying? I wake up in the morning, I ain't got to hear nobody's voice or nothing like that. And the reason I keep that solidarity is because if I bring a woman into my belongings, into my home or whatever the case may be, I want there to be peace. There's no peace when you're making up false accusations like this. You understand? But a lot of these women, they've grown up and they've grown up in an area where it's nothing but confusion all the time. So as they become adults, they learn how to create confusion. This is beyond insane. And this man is at the height of his career. That's what I said. You know, I don't think, you know, Ezra Miller, I used that in the earlier live as an example. And Ezra Miller, he did a whole bunch of stuff kind of similar. He was arrested twice. He punched some people in the face, you know, all kinds of wild shit, whatever. And DC, the DCU was getting ready to get rid of him. Now they were getting ready to put out a new Flash movie at the time, and they delayed it, and now they're putting it out later this year or maybe early next year, whatever the case may be. Point is, Ezra Miller kept his job. And what he did was way worse than what Johnathan Majors is accused of, which we now know is a whole total farce and a lie. So, based on the video footage, based on the retraction of the statements initially and the accusations, based off of many other didn't litany of things, I'm asking myself now, when you're going out, guys, you've got to be extra careful, even if you try to date a chick now, even if you just go into the club or something now, because you end up with shit like this. This is why you're seeing a decline in guys asking women out, approaching women or whatever. They're scared as fuck. You know, I keep it a buck with y'all here on my channel. I don't do all that fucking lying and shit like that. I got two sisters, you know. The same shit I would tell you guys, I tell my sisters. And I'm telling you, there's a litany of fucking women out here that are lying on men. And here's another example of it. And you guys, yeah, I know you think I sound harsh when I'm saying it or whatever, but I gotta say it the way it is. This bitch deserves the worst. Whatever happens to this nutty fucking clutty bitch, she deserves the worst. I don't like the fact that Johnathan Majors was torn down falsely. I don't like the fact that it was the height of his career and he has two simultaneous movies out right now, Creed 3 and also Ant-Man and a Wasp, Quantumania. You know, it's unfortunate. But fellas, watch the women that you date. Watch the women that you bring them around. These are not your aunts. These are not your cousins. These are not your sisters. These are a breed of narcissistic bitches that got more induced when the pandemic happened and they can't do anything but sit at home and be on the computer all freaking day. Trust me, I was one of them. But like I said, ladies, for you ones that are not like these women, because I notice there's a split in the middle of this type of archetype of woman. For you women that are not like this, you need to start getting on these bitches, because what they're doing is they're laying the groundwork and getting you a reputation of everybody thinking this is the way all women are. But I know for a fact all women are not like this. My sisters are not like this. I have cousins that are not like this. And I have many other people that are female members of my family that are not like that. And they would never even consider doing something like that. So it blows my mind to see that Johnathan Majors has got to now set back with the blowback out of this, either somebody lying on him for one, or bringing false accusations against him. So Johnathan Majors, I want to say to you, and his lawyer Priya Chandri, I think that's what her name was, Shikandri. I hope I'm pronouncing her name right. If I'm not pronouncing it right, please pardon me. I want to tell y'all good job on this. You know, I say this all the time. Sometimes it's just good goddamn police work, you know? Sometimes it's just good goddamn police work, you know? And so hats off to the investigation. hats off to the New York City Police Department this time for making an announcement that they found out that this chick was a liar. Because they subsequently made their own announcement, as well as Priya herself made her announcement about this discovery that we have now, that this chick was lying the whole freaking time. You know, I could spend an hour and a half on this or whatever. There's going to be people that come to this live and they're not going to agree with anything I said. They're not going to like what I said or whatever. But the fact remains, this chick lied. Okay? She lied on Johnathan Majors at the height of his career. She's a nut. She was certified 5150. They got her locked up right now in the evaluation. They're going to probably deport her ass in a few minutes here and send her back to where she came from. And I want you all to remember that y'all sat back initially and were ready to just dive on this man with pitchforks and every fucking thing else. Listen, I'm not no defender of no sexual assaulters. Motherfuck R. Kelly, motherfuck Joel Epstein, motherfuck Harvey Weinstein. Fuck all of them. Fuck them with a stick. You will never hear me defend those guys. But when it comes to stories like this, and when it comes to people that are prominent in the culture, like Johnathan Majors, this guy is a precedent for the next 10 years. Give me 1 second. I wouldn't date you, and I'd rather fuck my hand first. You fat fucking pig. This is what I mean. These girls, they walk around and say whatever they want to fucking say to you, and as soon as you say something back to them, they're a fucking victim. This fucking fat pig just walked past me and tried to say some sarcastic subliminal shit. These whales and these fucking gremlins, because that lady looked like a gremlin that Johnathan Majors was with. She looked like a pure fucking gremlin. What's the other word I'm looking for? What was the fucking thing that the guy was in Lord of the Rings? I forgot what he was. What the hell was he? There's something that started with a G. I forgot. But she wasn't that attractive. So it had to be a fucking personality, or maybe he just knew or whatever. But the fact that this woman lied on this man at the height of his career, it don't set me the right way. It makes guys think, and I'm not just talking about brothers, I'm talking about guys in general. Johnny Depp just went through this shit. I love Johnny Depp. You know? Johnny Depp went through the same thing, some chick in court lying on him. And I'm just like, don't you have any compassion? Don't you care about anything? 305 Capricorn, you silly. I mean, don't you have any compassion about anything? So hopefully sooner than later, hey buddy, hopefully sooner than later, we'll get a statement from Johnathan Majors. We already got one from his lawyer, so hopefully we'll get one from him as well. And we can start unpacking this. And I'll say one more time, fellas, watch who the hell you bring around you as far as women are concerned. We're under attack by a certain portion of women, as you can see right here that went on with Johnathan Majors. And ladies, like I said, if you see women do stuff like this, it is your duty and responsibility, in my opinion, to pile onto these chicks and be like, how dare you put out some false accusations when there's real women out here that have been sexually assaulted, etc., etc., etc. You're in the fucking way. You're in the fucking way. And they're only doing it for 15 minutes of fame. This chick's story lasted for 12 hours before it was dissected with this whole Johnathan Majors joint. And now we know that she was lying and she's a fucking certified nut. This chick is nuttier than squirrel shit. And they got on a 5150 right now. This is the same chick 12 hours ago that accused the man of choking her. And this big motherfucker that is 6'3" and takes in 685 calories a day. And that's all that's wrong with you? Yeah, I knew that was false as soon as I heard it. I said, you said Johnathan Majors? You mean Johnathan Majors that just got cut up for Creed 3? You mean that Johnathan Majors is still walking around doing interviews looking like fucking Terminator Part 8? You mean that Johnathan Majors choked you? Your little frail 5.4, I think she's 5'4", 5'3", or something like that. So, you know, it's another case of, he did me wrong or whatever, you know, and it's like, get the fuck out of the way for real women that have sexual abuse cases. You know, get the fuck out of the way of women that really been sexually assaulted. I know some girls have been sexually assaulted before. The shit ain't fun. So why don't you fake broads get the fuck out the way and stop making false accusations and let the real women get in there. And ladies, like I said, stop being punks, stop being suckers, stop thinking you got to go along with the sisterhood. Fuck the sisterhood. Because the sisterhood should have been there yesterday and got this narcissist. Give me 1 second, guys. The sisterhood should have been there yesterday and got this narcissistic bitch out of the way. The sisterhood should have been there and did their due diligence, not Priya Chandri, who is Johnathan Majors' lawyer. The sisterhood should have been there and they should have condemned this shit. And the sisterhood is nowhere to be found. But when the sisterhood thought they were needed, when the accusations first came up, they were every fucking way. Let's make the tweet. Oh my God, let's make the video. He's guilty. I can't believe it. He's got his wake-up call. Blah, 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 blah. I need y'all to recant all that shit, just like that broad went down to fuck a police station and recanted not only her statement, but she's also caught on camera or whatever the else. Johnathan Majors, hold your head. Kane the Conqueror, salute to you. Vindicated without any questions. And I think you all should be happy as well. And to that chick that made those accusations and you're nuttier than squirrel shit ass, I think every lady in America and across the world internationally should bash this bitch for the next month. Because like I said, she got in the way of real sexual abuse cases, really women that have been assaulted or whatever. Y'all pile on this bitch, visit every social media site that she got, tell her I sent you. All right, tell her I sent you. Put me in the tag, tell her I sent you. I need my army over here to go at her. Because what men don't really understand is this ain't just about Johnathan Majors. This is about men in general. You understand? And if men can be called out this simple over an accusation, which you later find out comes from a chick that's nuttier than squirrel shit, that's currently on a current 5150 hold for being a nut, who lied, and the evidence is in the Uber, and now it's been exposed by his lawyer and by the New York City Police Department themselves, mentioning a statement and saying this broad is lying. Excuse me, am I going too far by saying this broad is lying? Because she's lying. She's lying. Johnny Depp is going through this. Bryson Tiller. Tory Lanez is going through this. And there's no repercussions for these women when they lie. You want to coddle them, be empathetic to them or whatever. Lock these broads the fuck up when they lie. They are in the way of real women that have sexual abuse cases. So that's all I got to say this morning, guys, about that. I'll be back with you in about 30 minutes here and wait for something to brew up a little bit. And I'm going to bring y'all something a little bit special I got invited out to today or whatever. So shout out to the person that gave me the invite on that, and I will talk to you guys later. And also, make sure you hit up the Cash App, guys. Make sure you support me. $STRINGERBELL80. Give me a second, guys. I got this bus behind me. Once again, that's $STRINGERBELL80 on Cash App. Also, guys, you can hit PayPal. Also, GoFundMe, whatever one if you don't have not signed up for Cash App. And like I said, guys, one more time, just remember, do not be fooled by now engaging in the argument. People, a lot of people in the sisterhood got a way of, matriculating and manipulating the argument now and changing the narrative. The narrative is not about what color this woman is. I don't care if she's white. I've dated some beautiful white women. It's not about her being white. And don't make that your secondary, go-to now that you can't go to, oh, Johnathan Majors is wrong. So now you want to turn the narrative to that. I'm let down from the sisterhood. All right, y'all letting me down. Y'all ain't on your due diligence. You want to hop online, say this guy's guilty 2 hours after they announce it. Then when you find out he's not guilty, and the New York City fucking police department themselves say, hey, this chick is nuttier than squirrel shit, and we got on a whole 5150. I want you to think about, when you think about this Johnathan Majors case, I want you to think about, well, it ain't no case because ain't nothing of it. He's going to be, the charges are dismissed. Everything that happened at this point now is procedural. She made a complaint, they had to follow up. That's the end of it. The DA is going to drop the charges because she was lying. But it's that easy to lock up a man nowadays on false accusations. That's the shit that's got me scared. That's the shit that's got me scared. I don't even want to ask a woman out nowadays because you're almost scared what they might say about you. You're almost scared to make an advance on a woman and be like, hey, can I hold your hand or something? Because, this might come about, and it might come back falsely, like it did with Johnathan Majors. And we're now finding out. So I'm going to keep up on this all day, guys. I'll be back with you after, next time I'll be back with you will be for something else. And in very few minutes, probably like 45 minutes here. But I'll be back with you, and I'm going to expound on this shit a little bit more. Because honestly and truthfully, this shit's got to stop with these fucking cackling ass narcissistic bitches. That's all I got to say, guys. Talk to you later.